you so much. Like you said, my name is Chemistry. Just a brief, okay. Just a brief little history about me. I've been studying Black history since I was like 8 years old, and I teach Black history with my nonprofit and also on TikTok at Kim Possible. So if you want to learn Black history, get me to 1 million. I'm at 500K, so let's get there. But let's talk about the Soul Train history. Soul Train was kind of like a groundbreaking, revolutionary TV show when it came out. A lot of people don't think about it, but you got to think about the time in which Soul Train became like broadcasted. When Black people were portrayed when Black people were portrayed on television as criminals or comic relief or something that was just this monstrous being to society, you turned on the TV and all you saw was us in black and white in chains. And Black people were not often portrayed in a positive light. Now when you think about it, fast forward a few years after Soul Train broadcasted, when in Living Color, A Different World, The Cosbys came out, HBCU enrollment skyrocketed 80% when we were portrayed in a positive light. So you see the impact that portraying us in a positive light has on our community, but that wasn't as easy as it seems. See, the 1990s, I'll get back into that. Let's start from the beginning. Like I said, Black enrollments, HBCUs, started at 210,000 enrollments in 1975, and by 1990s, 300,000 Black kids enrolled in HBCUs. This was at the height of the Soul Train show. This was at the height of Living Color. This was at the height of positive Black expression on television in color. It's important that we put emphasis in color because they love to put our history in black and white to make it seem like it was so long ago. It was not. And that is actually how Soul Train was so groundbreaking, because not only were we able to express ourselves in a positive light, we were able to express ourselves through our clothes, through our movements, through our songs, our poems, every single contribution that we've made to this country alone. That's what was broadcasted. Like I said, when you turned the TV on, all you saw was us being paraded around like criminals. Meanwhile, the creator of the traffic light passed away in '63, and that was nowhere to be found on any news section. But you could find us in handcuffs. That was not okay. So that's where Don Cornelius came in. Don Cornelius was someone, I feel like he had a calling from the beginning, and he knew, he just didn't know what avenue he was going to take until it was just plainly laid out in front of him. Don Cornelius is a veteran. I believe he was a Marine veteran, and he is the host, the very first host of the Soul Train show. Sorry about that. There were a number of hosts, but he was the original. And Don Cornelius started out as a broadcaster for the WCIU TV in Chicago. And it started out as just him being just a little anchor or someone that's just going to talk about what's coming up next. But he realized that there was nothing on TV but this show called Soul with an exclamation mark. And that show was in black and white. That was the only Black show made by us for us. And he said, we're Blacking, and I'm going to be the one to put it. So he brought it to the managers over at WCIU, and he said, hey, I want to broadcast this show. It's just going to be Black people singing, dancing, having a good time. WCIU wasn't racist, but they did know that they knew their audience, so they wanted to make sure that they didn't lose viewership. So they said, you know what, let's give you a trial run. That trial run brought forth so much support that next week they said, yeah, bring it on. Like every week we're going to give you the studio for free, and you come bring those people, you dance, and you have a great time. By the end of the first year, it moved from just Chicago, a local dance show, all the way to Los Angeles. And then it was everywhere at that point. Once it made it to Hollywood, once it made it to Hollywood, it was over with. All right, like I said, Soul Train was like the biggest thing on television. We don't think about it as that, but when you think about it, the people we listen to these days, the people you just heard, they broadcasted and showcased. A lot of them even came out on that show. That was their first time ever singing, ever being seen. A lot of people know Rosie Perez. Rosie Perez is only known because of the Soul Train show. She started out dancing, and next thing you know, she's in movies. Michael Jackson moonwalk. A Soul Train dancer actually taught him how to backslide dance, is what it was called, and he turned it into the moonwalk. So when you think about the Soul Train show, it's more than just a show of us dancing. It was truly an expression of who we are. And things started to change toward the 90s. Like I said, HBCU enrollment started to skyrocket. Black people were being portrayed in a positive light. Crime was actually going down in the black community. A lot of people don't talk about that. And that didn't align with the 1994 crime bill. See, the 1994 crime bill is where you got mandatory sentencing, you got the death penalty, you have 3 strikes and you're out. This was when $9 billion was pushed into building prisons instead of getting help for the people that needed drugs, that took drugs, getting more funding into education. The government decided to push more people into these prisons. We're going to get rid of all that positivity. All of it. Then Living Color, Living Single, all those black beautiful shows start to take funding away from the programs that's broadcasting the Soul Train show. All of it was intentional. And the fact that we're here today honoring these people, the fact that we get to still see tribute is absolutely beautiful. I love this. And throughout all of this, toward the end of the show, you're going to notice that there's some new age artists. And it's because what we're trying to show you is that Soul Train is not just a 70s thing. It's 2026 and here we are, okay? You're going to hear Beyoncé, you're going to hear Jill Scott, you're going to hear all these people because it's Soul Train through the years. It's how it's evolved. That sound has evolved. It wasn't just, like I said, pop. It was funk, it was disco, it was R&B, hip hop. It's all that we are. So before I end here, I wanted to talk about a guest that we will be interviewing later. His name is Rick Carson, and he is actually one of the original Soul Train dancers. So I hope you stick around for that because his story is absolutely beautiful. I will let him be the one to tell you about it. But I want you to know, what you're doing here today is not just having fun. You are making history because as we continue to support and promote our heritage and embody it, it can't go nowhere. And in a time where Black history is being challenged by the day, hundreds and thousands of documents is being taken out of the Library of Congress every day. This right here is considered making history. We will be in the history book. This is the 2026 Soul Train Festival. And give yourselves a hand because you are making history today. And I want to thank you for coming out. And thank you for letting me teach. Have a good one. Next up, we're going to be talking about Luther Vandross. Give me just a moment. As you guys know, Luther Vandross is from New York, and one thing about him is his voice definitely screams New York, not the accent, but just how it can run through you. It's a very much shut up, I'm speaking, shut up, I'm singing, chin up type of thing, and that's kind of the New York vibe. He was considered to have a velvet voice because it did kind of have, I would say, some sort of texture to it. Like it's a smooth, seductive, kind of like forceful. He just embodied this masculine with like a side of feminine. He's just everything. I love Luther. He won 8 Grammys, and he's known for Dance With My Father Again, which was dedicated to his father who passed away when he was 8 years old from diabetes. And I want to highlight that because a lot of the songs we're listening to right now and today from this time, it wasn't just feel-good music. Even the feel-good music has some feeling behind it. They made it because it came from the heart. There's a story behind it. But without further ado, I'm going to let Talib introduce Luther Vandross.
Please make some noise for the wonderful chemistry, y'all. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. I want you to hold